Tonight, you will try to rest, and you will fail. Not because your day was heavy, not because your body is weak. You will fail because you do not know how to become empty. The world has taught you a strange fear. It has taught you to fear the moment when nothing is happening, when there is no sound to hold you, no task to justify you, no voice to prove you exist. So you fill the room. You fill it with thoughts, with plans, with regret, with imagined futures. You call it being responsible, but it is only noise wearing a clean robe. Look closely at your mind. It does not rest. It patrols, like a guard who does not trust peace. Even in safety, it searches for danger. Even in silence, it invents an enemy. And when you finally lie down, your body asks for sleep, but your mind demands a battlefield. In the old days, a young retainer served a lord in Edo. He was praised for his sharpness. He remembered every order. He anticipated every need. But at night, he shook as if winter lived inside his ribs. He could not sleep. He began to fear the dark, not because it was dark, but because it was quiet. He went to a Zen temple at the edge of town, a place of worn wood and plain stone, a place that did not beg to be noticed. He bowed to the old monk and said, "Master, my life is in order, but my mind is not. When I close my eyes, the world opens inside me. It is louder than any street." The monk did not answer him. He simply took an ink brush. He dipped it once, and then he painted a single circle on paper, an enso. One breath, one movement. Then he placed the brush down, as if nothing else was required to complete the universe. The retainer stared, confused. He asked, "What does this mean?" The monk poured him tea. He kept pouring. The tea reached the rim, and still he poured. It spilled over the cup, over the tray, over the tatami. The retainer jumped back. "Master, enough." The monk's eyes stayed calm. He said, "You are like this cup. You come to me overflowing. Even your silence is full. How will you taste rest if you cannot hold emptiness?" Lord, this is the mistake of modern life. You do not suffer because you have too much to do. You suffer because you do not know how to stop being filled. Your mind has forgotten the sacred shape of space. In classical China, Zhuangzi spoke of an empty boat. Imagine you are rowing on a river at dusk. Mist on the water. Reeds whispering. Then another boat drifts towards you and strikes your side. If the boat is empty, you do not rage. You do not curse. You simply adjust your course. But if you see a man inside, your chest ignites. Your pride stands up. You must be right. You must be seen. You must punish.
Zhuangzi's lesson is quiet and cruel. Most of your pain is not from life hitting you. It is from your someone inside the boat, your ego, your identity, your constant need to be a person who is correct, a person who is ahead, a person who is never left behind. That someone never sleeps, because it cannot afford to become nothing. In Japan, there was a swordsman who understood this without poetry. Miyamoto Musashi walked roads where death was not an idea, it was a routine. He learned that a mind that clings becomes slow, a mind that insists becomes predictable, a mind that panics becomes a doorway for the blade. But Musashi did not become calm by forcing calm. He became calm by removing what was unnecessary. Not adding more, removing. He sharpened his life like a sword, not by decorating it, but by stripping it down until only what cuts remains. Now, listen. You are trying to rest the wrong way. You are trying to rest by carrying yourself gently. But the problem is not the weight of yourself. The problem is that you keep carrying yourself at all, even in bed, even in prayer, even in a moment that could be simple. The tea masters knew a secret the world forgot. Sen no Ryoku made rooms so quiet they felt like snow. He placed one flower, one scroll, one kettle, not because he lacked wealth, but because too much beauty becomes noise, and noise, even beautiful noise, keeps the heart awake. He understood. The soul does not need more stimulation. It needs permission to be plain, permission to be unfinished, permission to be empty without being ashamed. The monk told the young retainer a practice. It was so small the retainer almost laughed. He said, "Each night before sleep, make your mind a room with nothing inside. Not a room you decorate, a room you clear." "How?" the retainer asked. The monk said, "Sit, breathe, and when a thought comes, do not wrestle it, do not negotiate, do not build a house around it. Bow once and let it leave the way it entered. At first," he said, "you will feel frightened, because emptiness will feel like death. But it is not death. It is your return. It is your original face before the world wrote on it." Night after night, the retainer practiced. He failed. He succeeded for 3 breaths, then failed again. But slowly something changed. He began to notice the moment a thought was born. He began to see how it begged him for attention like a child pulling a sleeve. And for the first time in his life, he did not obey every pull. One evening, he sat longer than usual. Outside, wind moved bamboo. Inside, the kettle hummed. A thought appeared, an old humiliation. Then another, an imagined disaster. He bowed. He let them pass. And then there was a gap. Not a gap filled with victory, a gap filled with nothing. And in that nothing, his shoulders dropped as if a heavy armor had been removed. His jaw softened. His eyes stopped searching. The guard inside him sat down. He slept that night like a child, not because his life became perfect, but because he stopped demanding that his mind perform. He learned the oldest power, to be empty without fear. Lord, stillness is not a mood. It is a skill, a discipline, an inner craft. And it begins with one decision: to stop feeding the noise. The world will offer you endless ink, endless stories, endless reasons to keep thinking. But a blade does not become sharp by arguing with the stone. It becomes sharp by staying in contact and letting friction remove what does not belong. Tonight, become the empty boat. Let collisions happen without hatred. Let thoughts pass without crowns.
Let your name loosen in your chest. Attain utmost emptiness. Maintain steadfast stillness. And then you will taste a rest the world cannot sell you. A rest that is older than your problems. A rest that does not need permission. A rest that arrives when you finally stop arriving everywhere as someone.